In the unforgiving world of late-night television, hosts have always walked a razor-thin line between humor and controversy. But what happens when that line is not just crossed, but completely obliterated?
A story that we have been following here, as ABC has now suspended Jimmy Kimmel's late-night show indefinitely following comments that he made about Charlie Kirk's killing.
This week, Jimmy Kimmel, a staple of American television for over 2 decades, found out the hard way. He's been suspended indefinitely from his show, but the real story isn't just about the suspension. It's about the shocking comments that led to it, a conservative figure's tragic death, and a bombshell revelation that could change how we view media freedom forever. Stick with us, because the truth about what really happened, and who is truly behind this unprecedented censorship, will be revealed at the end of this video. To understand the firestorm, you have to understand the tragedy that preceded it. Charlie Kirk, a prominent conservative activist and founder of Turning Point USA, was assassinated on September 10th while speaking at a campus event in Utah.
That's a lot of people, Utah. I'll tell you what. We're going to be here for a couple hours. Get comfortable. Bring the best libs that Utah has to offer.
At just 31 years old, Kirk was a powerful voice for the younger generation of the MAGA movement, a close ally of President Donald Trump, and a figure who commanded both immense support and fervent opposition.
So you're comparing abortion to the Holocaust?
Absolutely I am. In fact, it's worse. It's worse. It's worse.
You truly, in your heart of hearts, truly believe that this is a human being. This,
Without a doubt.
without a doubt,
Yes.
this is a dolphin fetus.
A fetus?
His death sent shockwaves through the political landscape, sparking a fierce debate over political rhetoric and violence.
So this just happened. We just found out that Charlie Kirk got shot.
That was devastating. Holy, America is so absolutely
And Jimmy Kimmel, on his show, just a few days after the assassination, he did what he always does, a monologue. But this time, his words ignited a backlash of historic proportions.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half-staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the 4th stage of grief, construction. There's demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish, okay? And it didn't just happen once.
When I heard it, I was in the midst of, building a great, for 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom at the White House, right? They don't have a ballroom. They have to use tents on the lawn for President Xi when he comes over. If it rains, it's a wipeout. And so I was with the architects that would design. It's going to be incredible. And they came in, they said, Charlie Kirk is dead. I didn't know what they meant. I said, he was dead. Charlie Kirk was shot. And they thought he was dead because it was so horrific, And I said, dead.
And then we installed the most beautiful chandelier. Sconces you wouldn't believe. There's something wrong with him.
In his monologue, Kimmel took direct aim at the Republican response to Kirk's death, saying, and I quote, "We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it." He didn't stop there. He also mocked President Trump's response to the killing, telling his audience, "This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish." These were not just jokes. They were direct accusations that the killer was aligned with the very people grieving his death. The political left and right have been battling for years, but this felt different. It was an immediate, visceral reaction that crossed a line for many, leading to an onslaught of public condemnation. But here's where the story takes a shocking turn. The backlash wasn't just from angry viewers or rival news outlets. It came directly from the highest echelons of power. The Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, condemned Kimmel's remarks, with its chairman even hinting at regulatory action. This isn't just a network making a business decision. This is the government getting involved. The question is, why? And what does the FCC's unprecedented intervention tell us about who truly has the power to censor and control media in America? We'll get to the bottom of that in just a moment. Following Kimmel's comments, the dominoes began to fall. ABC, a subsidiary of Disney, suspended Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely, but the initial pressure didn't come from ABC itself. The major catalyst was a media group called Nexstar, which owns dozens of local ABC affiliates across the country. Nexstar immediately announced it would preempt the show on its stations, citing Kimmel as offensive and insensitive remarks and stating that giving him a platform was simply not in the public interest. This move, combined with the FCC's public condemnation, shifted the entire narrative from a talk show host's gaffe to a fundamental debate about freedom of speech and government overreach. The question isn't whether Kimmel was right or wrong in his comments, but whether the government, or powerful corporations under government pressure, should have the right to silence dissenting voices. Is this the end of free-wheeling political satire in late-night television? Is the First Amendment under threat? The media landscape is a reflection of our culture, and late-night shows, once a place for light-hearted celebrity interviews, have evolved into a front line of the political battle. Kimmel, like Stephen Colbert, has long been a vocal critic of the right, and for years, his audience has embraced it. But the suspension has forced a crucial public conversation. Is a late-night host an entertainer or a political commentator? And who gets to decide what is acceptable to say? Now, for the answer we promised you at the beginning. The reason this censorship is so unprecedented and so chilling isn't just because of what Kimmel said, but because of who orchestrated the pressure. The FCC chairman, an appointee of the current administration, openly threatened the broadcast licenses of ABC affiliates. These licenses are the lifeblood of every local station. They operate on the public airwaves, and they can be revoked. This isn't just a suggestion, it's a powerful and coercive threat. The suspension of Jimmy Kimmel wasn't an independent business decision by ABC. It was a direct response to immense political and regulatory pressure from an administration that has repeatedly demonstrated its willingness to use government power to silence its critics. It wasn't about decency or public interest. It was about leveraging state power to punish a political opponent. This is the real story, not just the suspension of a late-night host, but a chilling case study in the weaponization of government agencies to control media and suppress dissent. It's a wake-up call, and a stark reminder that the fight for a free and open press is never-ending. What do you think? Is this a necessary move to curb hate speech, or is it a dangerous precedent for government censorship? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay ahead of the curve on the real stories behind the headlines, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Weta Politics, and hit that notification bell. We'll see you in the next one.